We were given some real marine, like coral reef sounds to use, and also fish recordings for the game. And I used them really heavily for reference. There were two files in particular. There was one of a degraded reef and one of a healthy reef. And you can really tell in the makeup of the life that they were able to record, like how different they sound. And the degraded reef, a very sort of subtle clicking, clacking sound of organisms and different plants in the reef. And the healthy reef, you can actually hear like fish sounds. And so that was really, really inspiring, I think, to actually hear some of the things that are present underwater. How do other creatures communicate underwater, and what does that sound like, and why is it effective? All of that was very interesting to me when I was concepting what the sounds would be like, both sounds and music for the game. I would say there is a balance between mimicking real life and taking some liberties, because Life Below is taking inspiration from so many like realistic elements that I want to include that in the sounds, but at the same time it has more magical, mystical elements as well. I mean, with Thalassa and the reef heart and this whole sort of almost fantasy based narrative, I can still take some liberties with the sounds. No matter what project it is, I'm always drawn to different textures and timbres of instruments can convey emotion, and not in a way of like telling them what to feel, but supporting like a specific environment or mood, or like what is going to enhance their experience. When thinking about Life Below's music, I know we're going to spend a lot of time in this game because it's a city builder. We're going to spend a lot of time in specific biomes, and we're going to be underwater a lot. So definitely one of the things that I wanted to convey emotionally was a sense of like calm and peace, but there are also moments where it gets hectic and chaotic and a little bit dangerous. So both of those things were kind of important for me to think about. It goes both ways. Not only as you build the reef up, but as your reef is destroyed, your wildlife leave, your buildings decay, and you can also hear that sound is leaving the biome. So that's also creating a different emotional experience of like loss or potentially grief or, yeah. So for each biome, I wanted to have something change within the music, but I knew that it couldn't be super drastic because I wanted it to feel cohesive and seamless when we're going from one biome to the next, that it just feels like the same music, but it's just evolving somehow. I made and used a lot of water recordings, basically. So I used a very simple contact microphone that's coded, so it's a hydrophone. I used other real-life water-based sounds. I used, organic material, fruits, vegetables. I remember using pretzels and seaweed to get some crackly reef sounds, vocal elements for fish sounds, a little bit of synth elements, but for the most part, I stayed away from synthesizers because that was not the vibe we're going for. We wanted to have something a little bit more natural. For each background track that I make, there are essentially 18 different track variations. We have 6 biomes, and each biome can be in low, medium, or high intensity. And we control this by 2 parameters, dynamic intensity parameter and a biome parameter. Depending on which biome we're in, how built the reef is, how not built the reef is, how destroyed the reef is becoming, we will switch between those 2 different parameter variables to give a totally different music experience depending on like the game state and where the player is in the game. I think the most unique sounds that I worked on for this project would definitely be the fish and creature sounds, of which there are many. I think there are like more than 50 individual fish and creature sounds that I made. And I made them all in like the same time period. Like it was like 1 or 2 months of just fish sounds. And that was a very intense process of trying to make each fish sound different, and in which ways could I do that and still kind of adhere to real fish sounds to some capacity. That was a lot of fun and very very unique because I used a lot of different references, inspiration, and materials to make them. I used my own vocals, I used synths, I used rocks, I used drums, I used snaps and pops and all sorts of things.